Hello everyone, Criticorn here. I hope you're all having a wonderful new year, and to mark this event, I wanted to take on the challenge of explaining what Star Citizen is as a whole. Not only explaining what the game is for all of you newer players who aren't too sure what the game is about, but also to explain what it's like to be a pledger and a backer, and also show you what's going on behind the curtains, and how hard the development team is working to produce this very unique and special game for all of us. So without further ado, I'll cue up the orchestra. A not so long time ago, in a city not so far away, a game developer named Chris Roberts wanted to make a space game called Star Citizen. Using Kickstarter and setting the funding goal for $2 million, the developer was in for a bit of a surprise when he received over $6 million by the end of the campaign. As the fan base and support for the game continued to grow, Chris presented the community with a choice. The game could be developed as is, or the development team could continue to build a giant, massive universe. After the ballots were cast, the community gave Chris Roberts the green light to further develop and expand the giant, massive universe that he had envisioned for Star Citizen. There has been disappointment shared, as the game hasn't developed as quickly as everyone had hoped, but through the special relationship that Chris and the development team share with the rest of the community, there's just as equally as much triumph, as the step-by-step progression of Star Citizen continues to grow. And while Chris Roberts and his development team continue to pioneer in pushing the envelope forward in developing this epic space odyssey of a game, you might be asking yourself, just what exactly can I do in Star Citizen?
Star Citizen is an epic first-person experience spanning hundreds of solar systems where players can fly highly detailed spaceships, battle on foot through massive space stations, explore life-size planets, and discover adventure in an ever-expanding and changing galaxy.
In this giant open realm that we call the verse, there's going to be several different factions, warring, neutral, or allied with one another. As you begin your adventure with the Human faction, otherwise known as the United Empire of Earth, or the UEE, you just have one simple question to answer. What career would you like to pursue in the verse? Maybe a career in exploration? You can use your exploration ship and fly to the deepest points of space, using your scientific tools, space telescopes, and other scientific instruments to make exciting discoveries. You can also fly through giant wormholes, mapping them out for your fellow Star Citizen captains to use. Maybe a career in space trucking? Transporting goods and commodities, you'll be the bloodline of the entire verse. You'll also have to use your business savviness and dodge pirate attacks as you try and cash in with your precious cargo. Of course, why go through the trouble of paying for cargo when you can steal ye hard-earned plunder instead? Being a pirate will certainly have its advantages, but be on the lookout, a player just might have pursued a career as a bounty hunter. And while chasing scum and villainy across the verse will be hard work, cashing in all of those bounties will allow you to amass a small fortune, to better arm yourself and repair your ship after a firefight. Or perhaps you'd like to be the one doing the repairs yourself, as you repair not only other fellow captain ships but derelict wrecks, and build up your reputation as an expert shipwright. Of course, repairing ships will cost resources. In comes the mining vessel. Flying a mining vessel in Star Citizen isn't a simple point and click. Navigating your way through very dense and dangerous asteroid belts, you'll be on the lookout for pirates. As you fire up your lasers and start to fracture the surface of the asteroid, read your instruments carefully, for that asteroid just might explode. Fret not as you float away looking at your obliterated mining vessel. In comes the medical frigate. As it flies in and rescues you, players who choose a career in the medical field will help pilots recover from their injuries and get them back on their way. I too will be flying in personally, only to be mincing up what's left of your mining ship and selling it for scrap. Us salvagers will be running amok, picking the bones of those derelict wrecks across the verse, as we never let anything go to waste. With my new earnings, I hope I can purchase that illegal weaponry. In comes the smuggler, who flies through with his blockade-running ship trying to get past security. This career will certainly be dangerous, but also very exciting for the players who want to smuggle cargo through the verse. And while I couldn't cover all the careers in this segment, Chris and his team have gone to great lengths to make each career really fun and exciting for the players that choose to pursue them. Equally as impressive is the amount of work that the developers are putting into creating the galaxy. It's going to be busy, vibrant, and full of life in every form. The NPC population alone will cover 90% of the verse at any given time. Not only is this a great way to ensure that players have a fun and fair experience together, but also is a great way for players to establish new relationships and go on new adventures on a daily basis. And if that wasn't enough, the NPCs themselves are not scripted. This means that the entire universe is going to be shifting and changing on a daily basis. You could even follow an NPC around, and for better or worse, your interactions could alter the course of their destiny forever. Even the hostile environments in space and the weather on the surfaces of planets will be completely random. There's going to be giant solar flares and massive electrical sandstorms. The level of danger will also apply to the plant life and the creatures that are on the planets that you explore. Each one will have its own unique biomes as you establish outposts and explore further into the stars. Even the surfaces of planets will constantly be shifting and changing. A newly crashed capital ship can become an established fortress for a hostile desert clan as the weather tears and erodes the ship away over time. All these game mechanics and features are just the tip of the iceberg and exciting things that Chris Roberts and his development team are adding to put in the Star Citizen verse. Now, if this game has piqued your interest, you might be asking yourself, just exactly what does it mean to be a Star Citizen backer? While I can't speak for the Star Citizen community or you, the viewer watching this video, I asked myself two key questions before I personally became a backer. Am I comfortable investing this amount of money? Just like any investment, I could lose it. I also asked myself, do I have the patience to write out the development of Star Citizen? It's been developing for a few years, and will continue to be developing for a few more until its initial release. So if you are comfortable investing in a crowdfunded project, and you have the patience while the game is being developed, you might really enjoy becoming a Star Citizen backer. To initially purchase a starter ship in Star Citizen is incredibly cheap and affordable, and it's always going to remain that way. But if you do, however, have a little extra money and you'd like to invest in a more specialized ship, both through the community and YouTube, all of us Star Citizen fans have a wealth of info to share with you to help you better pick the career and ship that's right for you. Of course, if you're simply just not ready to invest in Star Citizen or just not comfortable with the development of the game, that's completely okay. Go ahead and wait. Chris Roberts has said that all of the ships that are being awarded to the backers are ships that you can acquire in-game. They can also be acquired fairly quickly, as Chris has said he doesn't enjoy the long grindy aspect that most games have to offer. And on one final note, I just want to talk about the passion that the developers have. While I can't be a fly on the wall and listen in on all the office conversations, Chris Roberts released some incredibly rare footage where they've discussed the delay of a project that was scheduled to be released. It was a great eye-opener to see just how hard everyone's working behind the curtains. Me being able to witness the exhaustion that you could see on their faces and hearing the disappointment in their tone of their voice as they described why they had to make the delay was a great reminder for me that both players and developers share a great passion for wanting to see Star Citizen succeed.
I've been doing this stuff for 20 years, and the fan involvement and the fact that the fans care so much is just, it's just mind-boggling.
You look at the team and you look at what they're developing and you see that they're doing something nobody else has ever done before. And then from a fan perspective, it's like, well, all right, cool, I'm on board. So, you know, we get passionate about the project. The development staff's passionate about the project. And it's this kind of cyclical thing where everyone's kind of supporting everybody else.
So with all of that said, I hope I was able to shed some light on what Star Citizen is about. I wish you the best of luck on your gaming endeavors, and maybe, just maybe, I'll see you in the verse.